Hi, welcome to the channel. Today we're doing the March wrap-up. Excuse the huge, massive dog cage that takes up half of the apartment. Before we get into the books, I wanted to share with you that I'm picking back up the Patreon book club. So I just posted a video on there, and I wanted to share with you that the book is Oblivion by Josephine Hart for the month of April. We have only like about 3 weeks left of April, but it's a short one. It's like 202 pages, and the writing is quite sparse, so I feel like it will be doable in 3 weeks. I loved Josephine Hart's novel, The Stillest Day, last year. It was my favorite book of the year, and I still think that she's highly, at least on the YouTube booktube sphere, she's very underappreciated, and I don't hear anyone talking about her books. So I wanted to use my own book club as a chance to get people interested in her writing and to interact with her body of work. So we're reading Oblivion, so you're welcome to read it. Please do. And if you'd like to be in the discussion and also the Zoom discussion, that's on the Patreon. So all the links will be downstairs, and it's another way to help support my channel. So thank you if you do. So I'm gonna check my story graph, and we're gonna figure out what I read. I did not read very much in the month of March, but let's see. It was a major reading slump situation for me, and I'm back home, but I was traveling, as you would have seen from the last video, and for work, and I was working a lot, and I just, was just a roller coaster, and it wasn't easy for me to read. So I read 3 books, so this will be a short video. The first book that I read was The Cost of Living by Deborah Levy. I got this on my Kindle. I was experiencing like a serious slump, and I couldn't read anything. I was thinking back on a book or an author that I read at some point that I felt like is in the vein of what would get me out of a slump, or that I just knew that I would enjoy and that I would love, and that would be the kind of book that I just always like, no matter what mood I'm in. And the book that I thought of was Things I Don't Want to Know by Deborah Levy, which is the first one in this living autobiography series. And so I thought, I've heard high praise of The Cost of Living. Most people actually like this one the most, and definitely more than the first one, and I loved the first one. So I got it on Kindle, and in fact it was the absolute perfect book for me to read when I couldn't read anything. Big Deborah Levy fan. I really love her writing. I have an arc of her newest novel, which I'm just waiting for the right time to get to. This is, like I said, an autobiography, memoir kind of essay collection, where she's talking about motherhood and about moving into this new home with her daughters after the unraveling of her marriage. And so the first part is really about how she can't continue in her marriage. She feels it's not possible to be the person she wants to be the artist that she wants to be. I was reading it right after I got married, so triggering. But it was really beautiful how she describes it, and so she moves into a new home with her daughters, and so she's navigating this kind of new life when she can put art and writing at the forefront of her life now that her daughters are a bit older and she's not married anymore. So she kind of has this space, and it's her navigating that space and how to take that space, where a lot about the craft of writing and being a woman and a writer and a mother. And yeah, it was just very reflective, as with all of her writing, and I enjoyed it so much. Like, I was like it was tasty. It was just tasty, tasty writing. Jacob. Sleepy puppy next to me. Then I read another incredible book, but I have this in a book form, so let me find it. Got it. So this is At the Bottom of the River by Jamaica Kincaid. Rebecca Eats Books gave this to me. We were sitting at a bar, sharing a glass of champagne together after she came to see one of my shows in New York City. And she handed this little object to me, and I didn't know that it would be the single most important, moving, beautiful, just on point book for me to read at this time. These are short stories, or short pieces of fiction. Very, very beautiful. Jamaica Kincaid is just insane with language and imagery, so much imagery. The last story that's the same title as the book, At the Bottom of the River, I think this story in itself is the strongest thing that I've read in 2023. So this is up there with the best book of 2023 for me. These stories are about, wow, how can I even explain? Jamaica Kincaid is a Caribbean author, so she's speaking about childhood in the Caribbean, she's talking about Blackness, she's talking about family and landscape, place, home, the relationship with her mother. I think that the back puts it really well, so I feel I'm just gonna read it to you. Reading Jamaica Kincaid is to plunge gently into another way of seeing both the physical world and its elusive inhabitants. Her voice is, by turns, naively whimsical and biblical in its assurance, and it speaks of what is partly remembered, partly divined. The memories often concern a childhood in the Caribbean, family, manners, and landscape, as distilled and transformed by Kincaid's special style and vision. Kincaid leads her readers to consider, as if for the first time, the powerful ties between mother and child, the beauty and destructiveness of nature, the gulf between the masculine and the feminine, the significance of familiar things, a house, a cup, a pen, transfiguring our human form and our surroundings, shedding skin, darkening in afternoon, painting a perfect place. These stories tell us something we didn't know in a way we didn't expect. Originally published in 1978, like I said, it's her first book. For someone's first entrance into literature, unparalleled, really. I can't imagine this being my first book if I was a writer. It's just absolutely stunning. What I've been doing lately was a really strong one for me, and I might use it on stage in some way at the end of August, or in August. It doesn't say anywhere explicitly in the back that any of these stories are about grief, but there is a strong sense of loss for me in this book. And the last story, At the Bottom of the River, definitely speaks about, she does speak about grief and death, but also in the other stories, it just seems like a theme, obviously, for me, that's very relatable right now. I'll just read this to you. I now know regret, and that too is bound to death. And what do I regret? Surely not that I stand in the knowledge of the presence of death. For knowledge is a good thing, you have said that. What I regret is that in the face of death and all that it is and all that it shall be, I stand powerless, that in the face of death my will, to which everything I have ever known bends, stands as if it were nothing more than a string caught in the early morning wind. Shall I shed tears? Sorrow is bound to death, grief is bound to death. Each moment is not as fragile and fleeting as I once thought. Each moment is hard and lasting, and so holds much that I must mourn for. This was really so powerful. Her care for language, I can tell that she loves words, and that is so inspiring. It says it on the front, the sheer sounds of words and the evocative power, beautiful to listen to. Yeah, it is kind of that kind of writing that you would like to read out loud, or you would like someone to read to you. Rebecca was like, don't tell anyone, but I might like this more than Lucy. And having read Lucy, I think I agree. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you, Rebecca, for that. Stunning. Actually, speaking about Jamaica Kincaid, less successful for me, that I started this month, but I DNF'd, was Jamaica Kincaid's book, Among Flowers, A Walk in the Himalaya by Jamaica Kincaid. This was the book club pick for Katie James' book club, and some loved, or some enjoyed, and some didn't. I didn't get on with this one. I couldn't finish it because I couldn't get interested in it. It's a nonfiction. She loves her garden in Vermont, and she went on this walking trip through the Himalayas to collect seeds with other kind of botanists and such plant people. I'm not a plant person, I'm not a gardener, so for me, I already have like this distance, and this like, I'm not so interested in that. Although I do like nature writing, so I was looking forward to that, and I really like her writing. But something about it just couldn't grab my interest, and I just felt it was boring. And I think some others agreed in the book club that we didn't love it as much as we thought Jamaica Kincaid walking through the Himalayas could be. So for me, that was not successful. Then I read They by Kay Dick. A gorgeous book. I love these McNally editions books. Kay Dick was a queer author, and she wrote this novel called They, which is very, very different than her other works, which is why it was not received very well at first. And anyway, yeah, just kind of got blown away in the wind. McNally Editions brought it back. Obviously, I love a They. And so I saw They, and I was like, yes. This is a very strange necklace of stories that does feel like a novel, because our main character, I don't know what you think if you've read it, but I assume that our narrator is the same person throughout all of the stories. However, I guess that could probably be disputed, but there are different people involved in every story. So they are these people who are getting rid of art and literature. It depicts an England in which bland conformity and cultural amnesia are the terrifying order of the day. Violent gangs roam the country, destroying artworks and literature and brutalizing those who resist the purge. As the menacing They creep ever closer, a loosely connected band of dissidents attempts to evade the chilling mobs, but it's only a matter of time until their luck runs out. 1984 vibes, George Orwell, but I think this is doing a lot of other really, really interesting things. The meaning of art, the endurance of art. This is a queer book, and I was kind of looking at it like, where are the queer relationships? And I couldn't find them. However, our main character doesn't have a gender, which I love. Like, I think I'm searching for films, books, TV series with gender non-conforming characters where the whole thing is not about that. It's just there are many people in the world that don't identify as a specific gender, and in this book I love that you never know if you know what the gender is of your main character, and I love that doesn't matter, and that it's not it's not even the point. So anyway, but I was looking for kind of like queer relationships in it. And then I also read some articles and stuff, and I think that the queerness in this book is the paranoia, extreme paranoia around this group of loosely connected artists who are like painters, writers, craftsmen, different kinds of people who are resisting this they that's coming to destroy the culture. And there is a paranoia about being found out, which feels very queer, part of the queer experience. This was copyrighted in 1977, so the queer experience in the 70s, you know, now we feel a lot more, we still have work to do, but a lot more open about queer culture and being queer people in the world, depending on where you are located. But in this, I definitely get the sense that the queerness is the paranoia. That's like a mirror to a queer experience. That you're in danger, that you're against the norm, against the system. This book is strange, very creepy, weird. Like someone is standing too close to you, like this, breathing on your neck. This is the kind of sense it gives me, it gave me. Strong atmosphere, and I listened to this on audio, which was a lot easier for me, because I have to say the reading experience of it, I would all the time get confused, like what I'm reading or if I'm understanding correctly, and something about the audio really helped me. I listened to it on Scribd, and it was, I guess, a Faber audio edition, and I forget the name of the narrator, but her voice was beautiful and she narrated it very well. So I enjoyed my experience much more of this book because of the audiobook. There's a lot to think about. If you like dystopia, but you want it very quiet and intellectual, I would say that's where to send you, maybe. So that's it. Yeah, I'm feeling good lately. Happy to be home, taking like just some, you know, soul time, grounding myself. It was Passover, so we spent time with Ohad's family, and we're back with our beautiful puppy who's just an angel and always gives me so much comfort and makes me feel really good. So I'm feeling good. Oh, I wore this on Instagram, and someone asked me where it's from. It's like a bodysuit. I got it in Monoprix, the French supermarket. I don't know if I can find it online or something. I'll put it downstairs. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. I am really looking forward to making more videos and feeling reinvigorated and inspired, and I'm on like a, you know, long, twisty journey with everything that's going on in my life, but I'm feeling good about being on this channel again and making vlogs hopefully soon. So I swear the only content won't be monthly wrap-ups. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you read something that you loved in March. Love you a lot. Big hugs for me and Jacob and Ohadi. And see you later. Bye.